Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the top 5 Clay.com enrichments. If you're not familiar with Clay, it is a awesome software used for B2B lead generation. It's basically a spreadsheet on steroids. Now, there's a million ways in which you can use this. I'm going to show you the 5 enrichments that I use most regularly to get awesome results for my campaigns and for my clients, but also to keep costs low. When anybody reaches out to me, there's usually a couple of challenges that they're facing. Mainly, hey, what enrichments work the best? What should I be looking for? And how do I keep my costs low? I'm going to answer all of those questions in today's video. So let's dive into it. The first Clay.com enrichment that I want to share with you guys is the Open AI API key. So I'm going to just show you how this works in practice as an example. So let's pull a list of founders really quickly and show you like what it actually can do. So let's just build basic list, founder 11 to 50 in the, call it agency. Let's go with marketing services. Should be based in the US. Limit to 100. All right, very good. So we got 100 here. Now let's just enrich for free. All right, very good. So now that we have our list, I'm going to show you how you can leverage the GPT API. So you'll hit add column, hit add enrichment here. And so you can click into the chat or just type in Clayagent. So the difference here at Clayagent will actually go and do web research. So if you give it a domain or a URL, then it will go to that URL and it will take actions based on whatever your prompt is. If you're only using or manipulating data that's already in your table, then you want to use this second choice, which is content creation, manipulation, and categorization. So the key thing here is to make sure that you have your Open API key attached to your Clay account. And the reason why this is important is because if you don't and you use Clay's credits, they're basically going to charge you 1 credit per row. So if you are just doing one prompt and you have 100 rows here, to get 10 results, or excuse me, to get 100 results is going to cost you 100 credits. Now, this obviously is only going to allow you to use the different OpenAI models, but assuming you have, an Anthropic API key, then you can use that here, or if you use Gemini too. But I use OpenAI, so I'm going to just speak from experience. This is the tool that I'm using right now. So you can see that there are a few different ones here. 4.0 Mini works really, really well. It's relatively inexpensive as well. So in terms of what you can do with the prompting here, the sky's the limit. A really good use case is you can either go to browse templates, and so you can check out the different types of templates that they've already provided for you. So hey, finding a case study, you can find recent company news, you can find a company's 10K, and you can find a list of their products and services, right? So that's going to be very useful in terms of personalization. You can also use this data to then score your lists. So again, right, you can do this much cheaper if you're using your API key. So let's just do a basic one really quickly, and I'll just show you how cheap it actually can be. So one that I really like to use is, deciding if it's a B2B company. So you can actually hit the help me, and so this will help you generate a good prompt. So you can build your prompts in ChatGPT, which I recommend doing if you're going to be doing any prompting, but you can also just use this help me button to help you build out a prompt if you're having trouble. So, as an example, if you want to just determine if the company is B2B or B2C, you would just give it the task. So help me create a prompt that will determine if a company is B2B or B2C. And then you hit generate prompt. Yeah, so in this case, it's just going to look at the company name and the company domain. So let's just accept this prompt. It sounds like it could be interesting. So yeah, this one in this case is going to be more of a Clayagent prompt. So let's use 40 mini. Let's prompt it. See what it has to say. Right, so this is telling us this is a B2B business. So left communications, let's just confirm it. Bang, content marketing agency. Great, they're working with other businesses. What I would recommend doing from here is just structuring the prompt so you get a more structured result. So you'll have to update the prompt accordingly, and you can just tell it and give it some instructions like, hey, only return whether it's B2B, B2C, or hybrid, nothing else, right? That'll allow you then to just get those results, and that'll help you more easily parse through the data. Then you can use it to manipulate your outputs. Yeah, and so in terms of like the cost here, so that is 0.00074. So let's think about that in terms of, you know, if you were to run that against 100 rows, that's going to be 7.4 cents, which is going to be cheaper than 7 different credits used. So I encourage you to take a look at the prompts that they already have provided in their templates, and then just build your own and play around and see what the deal is with that for you. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one here is going to be Apollo. So if you have an Apollo account, you can then connect your API key from Apollo with Clay. And so what this will actually help you do is find relevant individuals at a specific company. So let's go and build a basic company list and find relevant people at the company using the Apollo enrichment. Let's just assume let's keep the same kind of services. So let's do like marketing services. Let's keep it in the same, bucket, 11 to 50, United States. And then, let's limit this to 100. Okay, cool. So we have a bunch of good companies here. Let's import to a new table. Let's just enrich for the free one. All right, very good. So now that we have 100 companies, let's find people. So there's a bunch of ways you can do this. So you can find people at these companies. And this is a really great way to go about this if you're just trying to build a list really quickly. The thing with Clay data though is it's not 100% first party. So I believe they are pulling it from LinkedIn themselves. So it's not 100% accurate. It's very accurate. But if you were to do a search for people, you're not going to find 100% of the people that are available on LinkedIn. So using other tools and data sources are going to help you backfill anybody who they might miss. So the way that you do this is you just go hit add column, add enrichment. And so let's do Apollo. And so there's a bunch of examples here. You can enrich for a person, you can enrich a company, you can find open jobs, you can find accounts, find contacts, or you can find people at company by job title. So I'm going to click this one. You'll see this key here. This means that you need to add your own account credentials to actually leverage this enrichment. So if you have any questions about that, I'd Google apollo.io API key and it'll help you get set up there. So what we're doing now is setting up the API key is done, and then we'll just find relevant job titles. So let's do CEO and then and founder, and then we'll map the company field, domain here, location, we'll keep that open, continue to add fields. So here we'll see, we want first name, last name, LinkedIn profile, title, headline, ideally their email. We're not going to get the email unless it's in Apollo already, meaning you've already enriched for it in Apollo. So I'm going to show you in a second how to actually find the email address from there. So let's turn that one off and we'll just keep what we have. So hit save, let's run it on 10 rows. All right, so not 100% finding here, but we found a handful. And so you'll see we pulled these through. There's an issue though, because we found 2 people here, but there's only 1 row's worth of data. Now, the way that we can pull out multiple fields is an enrichment called write to table. Yep, so to do this, if you have a table that you've already written to, just select that one, or if you want to create a new one, you'll just create new, and then in terms of the list that you want to pick, hit backslash and then find people and then results, and then you want to insert all the properties. And so what you'll do next is map the fields. So, you want their full name. You'll add that as its own column. You'll want their domain. You'll map that as its own column. And that's really like the main stuff which you'll need to actually find an email address. If I were you and I was doing this to build a full list and do a full campaign, I'd add all these columns. So let's just say the run settings, everything looks good. So we'll hit save and we'll run 10 rows. So in the next table that we're writing to, we should have 2, 3, 4 new rows. So you'll see here, write to other table, click into this, and let's go to the other table. All right, cool. So it looks like we've found good fit people here. So now we'll need to find their email address. And so the way that we're going to do that is do the third enrichment, which is the waterfall email enrichment. So this one's super basic, and it's made everyone's life a lot easier here. So all you need to do is type in email in the add enrichment. You go to work email, and then just pick whatever actions you want here. You'll see People Data Labs is going to be 5 credits. Findymail is 2, Lead Magic is 1, Prospeo is 2. You can add other sources as you see fit. You want to add, in this case, you would want to add their LinkedIn, their full name, and the domain. Okay, so in the first 3, we didn't find anything. So what I've actually done is gone back to the initial list. I've enriched for the whole 100 list, finding CEOs and founders. We've written to the other table. Now I'm in the other table. I stopped it at 20, but we have about 20 good fit prospects here, and we found a bunch of email addresses, right? So you'll see here, like that's a pretty no-brainer way to easily find and enrich for decision maker emails. So let's move on to BuiltWith. So BuiltWith is such an amazing tool because it'll allow you to filter and build lists based on the types of businesses that are using technology that you need, right? So perhaps you work with businesses that use HubSpot. So that would be a good example of a technographic search. And so the way that you can go about that is, let's go back to our company list here. And so let's do an enrichment where we will do BuiltWith, find the tech stack. And so in this case, let's say we want to find HubSpot. And so the keyword that we're searching for, HubSpot, and we're going to be searching the company domain. So let's add the fields, let's add this, description, and let's run a couple of the rows. All right, so they didn't come up in the first 4, but we got one in 5. You'll see, all right, they found HubSpot. Found 161 other technologies as well. So what you can do here is, if you want to find like a full compilation of all the technologies that BuiltWith has, you can just not filter for the company that you're looking for or the technology that you're looking for and leave this blank. And then you can just do like a lookup. So you would basically say, all right, cool, let's add another column. Let's do some kind of a formula and say like, if technology stack contains HubSpot, then true. Technologies found, otherwise leave empty. These 4 were empty. We get no responses here. That's true. The output is true. So the benefit of doing something like this is, again, like you can just filter for companies that only have that relevant technology. And then the last one is going to be Smartlead integration. So let's go back to our find people table. And so what you would do here is you hit add enrichment, and you can go to Smartlead, and you can add your lead to a campaign. So you connect your API key. You'll want to map your fields properly. There's a campaign ID inside of Smartlead. You'll want to set that up. And then you'll just include the email address, the first name, the last name, the phone number if you have it, whatever other information you want. You'll hit save, and then you'll send that directly into Smartlead, and your campaign will be able to just automatically refresh live. So this is going to save you a lot of time in terms of configuring the back end of Smartlead, especially if you're crunched for time or you don't have a big team, this is going to help you a lot. So these are the 5 key enrichments. Clay has a million that you can possibly use. I encourage you to dig into everything, but these are the ones that I've found are going to give you a lot of leverage. Call it the 80-20 of clay.com enrichments. Now, I hope you found some value in this video. If you want some help building some clay tables, I encourage you to book a meeting with the link in the description below. We'll find some time to chat, see what makes sense for you, and looking forward to speaking to you then. But otherwise, I will talk to you in the next video. Talk to you soon. Peace.